Hello and welcome back to the Victorious Wool podcast. This is a special episode. I am not going to show you what I've been working on or any of my own designs. I'm just going to talk about yarn today. Specifically the yarn that I have in my stash. I had an accident where all the yarn, what this is this is a shelf that's about this, so I'm sitting, this is a shelf that's about this tall, and then stacked on top of it are bags of yarn, and this side up top all fell down yesterday. And I was looking at it and talking to my friend about it, and I thought it would be fun to do a podcast episode just about what's on the floor right now, because if I did a podcast about like what's all in my stash, it would take me many days. And I don't actually know what's all in these bags. This is probably the corner of my stash that I don't look at very often, so I thought it would be useful for me to be patient and to go through slowly anything of interest that I might want to show you. Maybe you want to see it too. So I'm going to slowly sip on my tea, enjoy a apple cider candle from Wax and Wool, and crinkly look through some of these bags. So all of my yarn is in plastic bags to protect them from moths, because we do have a little bit of a moth issue that we can't get rid of. So I bag everything up as soon as it arrives, and it's much easier to sort through if you're looking for something specific, to sort through bags than it is to have loose balls or skeins. So that's really helpful. If they all cascade and fall off, it's just a couple minutes to put them back, but they do crinkle, so there'll be some crinkliness. I can't get around that, and I don't want to take things out just to put them back in. So I will of course take out some to show you, but I just wanted to look through. I have these big bags of little bits, and this is sock skeins. These are mini skeins, mostly from a Homespun house. There was a couple years back when Molly lived in the United States, I was buying a lot. I buy less now that she lives farther away, but you know, actually the shipping and the pound, not the pound, the euro is, as far as I know, I haven't checked in the last couple weeks, but recently it was like head to head with the dollar. So shipping was actually really cheap, and it was probably a really good time to buy yarn from a Homespun house. This is something that Tanya sent me for my birthday a few years ago. This is just a sock yarn. I don't know what it is, but it's pretty. It looks like it could be a Christmas pair of socks. This is a skein. I believe it's called Vintage Suitcase, which is from the Explorer Knits and Fibers. So before Explorer Knits and Fibers blew up and it was really difficult to get their yarn, I ordered a couple of things from them. I have a pink mohair sweater in her Mauvelous colorway, which I haven't seen her dye in a really long time. So I ordered that and a Vintage Suitcase. I believe this is a DK, perhaps, and I balled it up because I was going to maybe use it in a Linus shawl with some mohair, and that's still a really good idea. You always got to have the right mohair to pair with. Then some lichen and lace sock yarn. I made a pair of pressed flowers socks with this. This is the bits of leftover, which technically I think I would appreciate having bits of leftover in a different bag than this stuff, because it just, like, memory wise, like, oh, it's a bit left over, so it should be in a different section of my stash. I believe this is Hedgehog Fiber, and I probably used it for my fade. This is gonna make me want to like sort things, and I don't really want to sort stuff. But there was something in here I wanted to pull out. There's some MadTosh in here that doesn't belong, that should go with the MadTosh stuff. This looks like their mohair merino combo base, which I don't remember the name out of. But I bet you, here's the other vintage suitcase skein. I don't know if her labels are still like this, but they probably changed. Yeah, but it's good to have those two together. It's not a leftovers bit. It's full skein. Yeah, ToshMo Light, which is 80% merino, 20% kid mohair, was what this blue one is. And so I was a long time ago thinking I would pair these together with something because there's blue, but that never happened. But these should belong with the MadTosh section. Oh yeah, and here's another Mo Light that I was gonna do these three together with something. Yeah, because the gray had both the pink and the blue in it, so I thought it blended well. The gray one is Gracenotes and Copper Pink, which I think they still make. I think Wool & Boone is still making this one. And I don't know what the blue one's called. Lots of bright colors. There's some neon yellow in here. These are all minis from a Homespun house. Probably with the exception of some Viola that I got. This was part of a sock set. I think everything else in here looks like a Homespun house though. It's nice to have like at least some separation between companies. That's sort of how I organize things, is usually by company and also then by recent purchase, because generally the things on the top of the shelf in here are the most recent purchases. Although there is a lot of new purchase Lopi, because all the Lopi belongs in the other room. There's some bags that were really in the back. Like this is a skein of a sock yarn from the Farmer's Daughter Fibers I started a sock with. I don't know what the base was called. I don't even know if she's doing this anymore. I think it was like something about Rocky Mountain Purls, maybe? This comes to mind, but that may have been the colorway. It was before she did the sock squad, so I don't actually know if she's still doing this sock base. I don't think so. But I caked it back up because I didn't like what I was doing. I did get a gift yarn from Tanya, these three, which were from Farmer's Daughter. I believe they're slightly different bases. Let's see if I can get a peek. Right, the superwash finger squish fingering. I don't know if she makes this base now. A couple of them are squish fingering, and I think this one might be. It looks a little fuzzy to me. Anyways, these three were going to be for a complicated brioche. I think it's Marilyn Robinson, or is that the author? Robinson is her last name. It's Andrea Mowry's sister-in-law, who does beautiful. Not necessarily complicated because I haven't knit one. I don't really know. I don't want to say that. But like more intricate, beautiful brioche patterns. And she had one. I think I caked them up and was going to start. And then I looked at the pattern and I was like, and it was a few years back. And I felt a little intimidated. So I didn't start it. But yeah. So those really should, I think, be put in the Farmer's Daughter section, which is right here, instead of up there, because I won't, you know, I didn't even know they were up there. I am going to end up sorting some of the stuff, aren't I? I don't want to do that. But just a little bit, just some of it. I won't, like, that's the thing about, like, projects like this. You're just so overwhelmed. Even talking about it is too much. So this is a bulky, so I think this is Squish bulky from the Farmer's Daughter. I just got one skein. This might work for a hat, but it might not. Maybe a hat for a small being. This is Juicy Decay. Some stuff I can look at, I know exactly what it is. They're like bases that are, I know I purchased these colors, or I know that this base looks like this. And is a little disheveled. But this is maybe Paul Newman in the Juicy DK from Farmer's Daughter. This is Craggy Tweed. This might be Paul Newman. I don't know maybe what that gray is. Gary Cooper? No, Gary Cooper's green. Anyways, this is the Craggy Tweed, also DK, light worsted. This I think is Craggy Tweed as well. It's a little darker. I'm not sure what colorway that is. This is a skein left over from my first Amigas. This is the Solstice DK from Magpie Fibers. It's a yarn line they no longer can make, I think, because of the sourcing of the wool, but it's sad because it's so nice. It's merino, cotton, and silk, and I really liked it. I really like the piece I made with it. I would have liked to knit with it more. I don't know where to put this. This is just like a random cottony wool skein that I could maybe make a little kerchief out of. Yeah. So that's a bag right there. I think Farmer's Daughter dominantly. So I will see if I can fit that down here. I go through phases where like I really overbuy from one particular yarn company, and then it's not that I lose interest, but I sort of like saturate myself with that yarn, and then I like get distracted by something else. That sort of worked. Use your teeth to twist a skein. I do have some Peace Fleece. Now Peace Fleece is milled by Harrisville, I believe, but it's not for sale right now. At least they've been out of stock of a lot of colors for a really long time, so I don't know what happened to the supply chain. I hope that it comes back because it's awesome. This is Morning Dove, one of my favorites, and I had somehow only bought 5 because I think there are certain things I could make with this with 5. But this is a very, how would I describe it? I don't want to say the words. It's not rustic. It's actually pretty soft. It's a very like, it's not a drapey. It's not got any linen in it. So it stays in place. So it's like the right project and the right look for this yarn is kind of essential. And I did knit a baby, like not a baby sweater, but like a sample for a design I was trying to come up with. Just to see if I liked it. Isn't it cute? I don't think it would fit any actual babies, maybe a premature baby or a very small baby. It has cables on the ribbing. I may have shown this on the podcast before, but I would like an adult version, technically. I just don't have enough yarn for it. I don't think. I don't know. Anyways, past projects. I don't need to justify why I didn't do something. You can just go back and beg. But yeah, love Peace Fleece. I knit the Timber cardigan from Silvery Shannon. Love it. I should pull it out. It's a yellow. I love a yellow sweater. Okay, what else is mysterious in here? It's the bags of all the caked yarn that seem to be very mysterious to me. So this is a skein from Woolly Mammoth Fiber Co. This is her natural sock, I think, in one of the coral natural dyes. So Woolly Mammoth has a section. Or it's sharing a cubby with Lichen and Lace. So technically this should be in there. This is also the yarn I used from Woolly Mammoth for my Floating Blossom. This is her DK BFL Mash'em, which I highly recommend. I think she's got a 2-ply and a 4-ply. It's awesome. Awesome. It's like woolly and farm looking, but it is so soft. Oh. And so this is left over from making that shawl. This is also BFL Mashem, I think a 4-ply fingering weight in Party in the Common Room, which is a Harry Potter name. Also super soft. It's hard when you go through your stash because you're like, man, these yarns are so good, and I just was like, we really want a perfect project for them. Then I think we're getting into some mysterious place. Like, what's this? I'm like trying to like, I have a pretty good memory, so it's easy for me. Lichen and lace. I think I have a good memory. Okay, so this is her 1-ply. This is her singles. Actually, this is not the right label. There is a label in the middle of the skein that is not the right label for this, because this is a pressed flowers label. This is not pressed flowers. So it looks like a single to me. Maybe it was labeled, the color was labeled incorrectly, because the pressed flowers I have purchased, I think always stock yarn. Maybe I have, maybe, I don't know. Anyways, this is Lichen and Lace singles in a gold. You could probably find it on her website. She's pretty consistent with her colors. I don't think she discontinues or adds too many new colors. These are probably all, yeah, these are all going to be Lichen and Lace. So back when Andrea Maui first came out with Find Your Fade, it was really hard to get a hold of the Hedgehog Fibers. So I bought a set of fade from Lichen and Lace. And yeah, that was all pinks because I really liked Andrea's original fade. There's reds. I'll just hold it up. Yeah, reds and oranges and corals. That's what this is. I ended up making it with, I found a whole other, after I purchased this, a whole other fade that I put together, which is honestly probably more fun to do than buying a kit. Even though the kits are super cool, I just don't have a problem necessarily with color combinations. I really liked this kit. Anyways, what am I going to do with it now that I've made my Find Your Fade and I probably don't want to make another? What am I going to do with that? I do have a whole bag of Bishi Bush Petite Lamb's wool. This is just the wool one, the wool base, and I had various plans for sweaters. I've got a gray, a navy, a green, a brown, a red, an orange. I think I have a yellow somewhere too. It'd be nice if they were together. Oh, here it is. Right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. You don't belong. You belong in here. There's also a random custom woolen mill skein in here. This doesn't belong. This belongs in this cubby. This one. This is all the custom woolen mills, which is a great farm yarn from Canada that I made my Meet Cute blanket version or blanket shawl out of. And I have a couple sweater quantities of their worsted and fingering weight, so. Yeah, so the Beach and Bush, I was going to make the juniper sweater from Caitlin Hunter. Didn't end up casting on. But I definitely should color work because I have a base color and a bunch of... In fact, I should have more... Maybe more gray of this, so I'll keep an eye out for needing to combine bags together. Sometimes it won't all fit in one bag, and so I stack it up there together, and then it gets separated when things like this happen, and it all falls out. Oh, I do have, that's interesting, one skein of the worsted weight of Bouche Biche that I probably just got to explore this space. This might make a good hat. I've been knitting the Yukon. I knit that gold one. This is my favorite hat. And I got like 7 more colors of Gilead, which doesn't have a place because I have too much yarn. If this video is overwhelming, just imagine how I feel sitting here with all of it. I could make a Petite Lamb's wool version of that. That would be fun. I have some Fiberco that I got when I went to Starlight Knitting Society back in, I think, 2019. I went to a Andrea Rangel class. This has like lavender throughout it, which you probably won't. Yeah, you can maybe see a little bit of it. It's like a sort of beigey gray with a little bit of lavender, which I thought was just a cool effect. I don't think I particularly like the base colorway, but I do like the effect of it, the purple. So I don't know what I would do with this. What would I do with that? With this, what are you? Oh, hello, Brooklyn Tweed. Stormcloud, what are you doing in here? You belong in a totally other section, which is right here. I believe I have a sweater quantity of Stormcloud. It should be somewhere. Oh. Yeah. Stormcloud. It's just too big to fit in the Brooklyn Tweed section. This is depressing. What am I gonna do? Well, it's okay. There is a sweet fiber. I really wanted sweet fiber when I went to Knit City for the first time in 2018. Maybe 2007. I stupidly like saved up for a sweater quantity to buy on their website when they were doing pre-order, and I got vintage lace, which was, it's nice. It's white. So why would I like buy from like one of the most saturatedly beautiful yarn companies? I would buy a sweater's quantity of white. I don't know. After the fact, I was like, that was really dumb. Like I could have bought so many other colors. I wanted to do this really cool Intarsia cowl because there's a book called, well, maybe I shouldn't share this idea. It seems like I'll never make it, but if I say it out loud and someone makes it somewhere in the world, I'll be like, oh, but you know, that's kind of how ideas are. If like inspiration comes to you and if you don't seize it and like make it happen, that idea will wander off and it will pester someone else. So that might happen. I don't know. Should I contribute to that or should I just keep silent? Anyways, there's this really, really beautiful green called Olive. And then they have, I think, Penny, which is the gold one. And then I have more white and rose. So, yeah, I have lost track of what's going on with sweet fiber. But awesome colors. I have not used it yet. I can't tell you how lots of people love it. I'm sure it's a great yarn. I just can't tell you from experience because I haven't used what I got. Another mystery bag with more balled up, caked up skeins. The caked up skeins, I think, yeah, as I said, are the confusing ones. I have some Biche et Bouche mohair. I do need to start a mohair and Siri alpaca section because I just ordered a big a big amount of Suri alpaca and mohair from Wool Warehouse from Drops. Like sweater quantities of stuff because, yeah, I just never make those sweaters or I feel frustrated when I have to buy 2 sweater quantities. And so I thought, well, you know, just buy like some inexpensive mohair and Suri and I will. Yeah, usually like Biche and Bouche isn't super expensive, but it's not cheap either. So these little balls are like $12. Some of those bigger skeins where you get like 500 yards are like $30. So it's just a stupid thing to hold me back, but it does hold me back. So, anyways, I need to put all the mohair in a section. So I know when to look for it. Zauber balls. This is exciting. So my mom loves stripes. She should knit. We've talked about multiple times, like you should knit stripe socks with, she also loves hand knit socks with, what's it called? Striped sock yarn. pre-striped. When it comes like this, and you know, every like inch or so, you're gonna get a new color. Self-striping. Self-striping. So I kind of got these because it would be super fun to make, and she would love them. But also she needs to make them for herself. Anyway, we're German. Zauber Ball is a German company. So I just thought that was fun, and it's good to see these because I just gave her a pair of socks for her birthday, which she loves, and she's wearing them all the time. And it's just so worth knitting gifts for people who love what you're giving them. And it's also like, I don't have to buy her something. It means so much more when I've put in, you know, 20 hours into something. Okay. Oh, I'm so glad I remember what this is. When I look at a skein, I'm like, oh, I know what this is. This is Spun Right Round. This I got at the Knitting Bee, which is a shop in Beaverton, Oregon, or used to be. They closed, and I did a show there where I sold knitting patterns with Emily Zhang of Local Color Farm and Fiber. And we had a really fun time, and the gal who owned the shop is super nice. And I just bought stuff because I was like, I'm going to sit in a yarn shop all day. I'm going to buy things. So I don't know the colorways, but Spun Right Round. I think I got 3 to go together. You know, as you do. Like, look, they all go together. These would make great Linus shawls. The bulky Linus pattern that I'm writing up for my newsletter subscribers is an excellent template for mixing and matching yarn colors. And you have, like, you can just color block. Yeah, maybe I should give those to my mom. She would love to do that. This custom wool, Kelborn Woolens. Scout, which I have a bunch of. I think this is their berry something colorway. I have a bag of Scout, so this needs to go with that. This is MadTosh. This is probably Work Sock. Did a terrible job caking this up. Look how weird it is. It's like a cake that then I unwound something. Yeah. I don't even remember what colorway this is though, but it's got like all these brights in here. So fun. I wish I could knit with this right now. It's so cool looking. It looks very brown on camera, but it's got lots of rainbow colors in it. This is also Work Sock. There is a skein of this wrapped around with mohair in my Farmer's Daughter fiber bags that I should pull apart because it didn't look good with a white mohair together. And I think this is Nights in Chile. This is a really good colorway. And then this is probably a copper pink, also Work Sock from MadTosh. Oh, it's so hard to get the names out and not say the wrong one. So these actually can go down here too. I don't know if there's space down here for all these things. I'll find out. Spun Right Round. Go back in the bag. I hope this is fun. I hope it's going to stir the economy because it's going to make you want to buy yarn. Maybe it'll make you want to go through your own stash and like see your own, the delight of things you already own. Sometimes it's true, like you can like go shopping and you own stuff, or like I want to wear a new outfit. I want something new. And so you just like deep dive in your closet and be like, what about this? I haven't worn this in a long time. What I should do with these like kind of random bags is I should, on a post-it note, write what's in here and like label it. Probably not because I really need to look at the label to know, but so that I will remember because I wrote it down. So here's some full skeins of Homespun House. Her yarn, by the way, is wonderful. I really love it. It makes really nice socks. They're very durable. So this is the Viola. Only time I've bought from her. I should check out what she's doing lately. She's got beautiful labels. This was a super wash, $25.75. They came together that I got. And they should stay together, I think. But yeah, I mean, just beautiful. This is a Harry Potter colorway, I think. Yeah. Mad Eye Moody. Super, super fun. They're heavy though, so when they're up there on the shelf, they fall over a lot because the bags are really heavy. Merino is a heavy wool, so it should probably go on the bottom. But the stuff that goes on the bottom doesn't get looked at. Such a conundrum. What to do? Here's some Quince & Co., which also really belongs down here because I have a Quince & Co. cubby down here. This is Puffin in a beautiful colorway called Barlow. I think it's bulky. And I was gonna make, it's Ursa. It's either Ursa or Ursa Major. It's a sweater by Jackie Cieslak. This is the yarn she used. I need more than 3 skeins, so I'll have to find the other ones and see if I can show it down here. I doubt it. I don't think it'll fit because Puffin is big, but I'll see. More Peace Fleece. You can get Peace Fleece in DK and worsted, and I think I just have worsted. This is the Negotiation Gray, which is really beautiful. This is definitely, I mean, I have 5. I guess sometimes I consider 5 to be enough for a sweater, and sometimes I do not. Who knows what's actually true until you make a sweater. But sometimes when I think, oh yeah, I'm gonna make a worsted weight sweater, and I'm like, I do have that Peace Fleece, and I'm like, but I want to save it. I'll just buy more yarn and save that forever. What am I thinking right now? The Kelborn woolens does need to be condensed together. I'm going to show you these colors. They're so wonderful. I am knitting the Halibut by Caitlin Hunter, that sweater with the fish on it, in the Navy Heather and Oatmeal Heather, and that yarn is just wonderful. I've knit a few different things with it now. This is the Charcoal Heather, which is awesome colorway. Very saturated and dark, but the lighter bits in it just give it a wonderful depth. And the Oatmeal Heather, probably my favorite colorway ever from them and from many yarn brands I've made. Well, obviously I'm using this in the Halibut right now, but I also knit the Golden Eye Cowl with this and the blue. And I think I also use this colorway with the charcoal in my camp mittens that have like a camper on the colorwork camper on the back. I need to pull those out. I only use those when it's super cold, which it doesn't get that cold here, so it can be a long time in between me seeing those mittens. So it looks like I have 2 this is Sunflower. Yeah, Sunflower Heather in the DK, 2 yellow, 2 black, and 2 oatmeal, and 1 teal, which is beautiful. I do wish they had more, like more colors, I guess. I don't dislike the colors they have, I just want there to be more. It's just good to know what I have of this because I'm always thinking about this yarn for projects, and I'm like, how much do I have? Do I have enough that I don't have to buy anything? So, that can all good stuff. I think what I have, oh shoot, I do have more of it. I do also have Juniper and another skein of the navy, which is probably for my sweater, honestly, which means it needs to stay out because a separate place so that I don't have to dig through here when I need it. Oh, now we're getting into, this is a fun hoarding thing. Some of the fun yarn I've been hoarding for a really long time. If you've heard of Green Mountain Spinnery on the East Coast, this is a beautiful, I think this is Atlantis. Yeah, Atlantis. And this is like the perfect bluey spruce green. And I have a lot of these. I think I got something like 9. I think they're probably need to be condensed together in one. Yeah, this is like a lightweight, I believe it is worsted spun. It looks like a 2-ply, just like I was gonna use it for a Brooklyn tweed all over cable long scarf that my friend Kirsty from Wax and Wool made in yellow. It's interesting to see like, oh, this was intended for this, and like, you know, it could still be, or it could be commandeered for some other fun thing. Who knows? What's also in this bag, little mohair, is, I only have one skein of mohair. Some wool folk. This is the far base. It's a worsted weight chainette, I think is what that's called, in eggplant. I was gonna make a hat that I was hoping was gonna turn out to be a brownie reddy purple, but it's a little bit more plum. I think I was gonna make the Brune hat by Melody Hoffman. So with that pattern, she had the most beautiful, it was from Newton, the most beautiful brownie purple red, and I wanted that, and so I was trying to find, you know, something that would satisfy that desire, and this might do it. I also kind of felt like maybe this was too light a wool, I don't know. So this is a Biche and Bouche mohair. I think the colorway is called burgundy, dark burgundy. So that's why it's sort of in a miscellaneous bag, because I don't know what to do with it. There's new yarn here that I got a couple days ago that's in this pile because it was on the bottom. I was on the ground when the avalanche came. It's from Harrisville, Highland, and this is Topaz. So this is like the perfect, you know how I was going on and on about wanting burnt orange, rusty reds. So good. It has gold in it. Yeah. So I got a sweater's quantity of the Highland, which is the worsted weight, and the Shetland, which is the fingering weight. This has a project. This is going to be the Hallou by Kaylin Hunter. I'm going to hold it with mohair. It is going to make a sweater that's a lot less drapey than hers. She used, I think, a super wash sock yarn for that sweater, which gives it a lot of drape. And that's not what this is going to do. I'm hoping the mohair will give it some drape, but anyways, just freaking love this colorway. So you'll be seeing a lot more of it. Lots. Red sock, blue sock. So this was a yarn. I somehow got notified that they were doing a, this was in support of a yarn company, I think, or getting it was a pre-order of like, help us out, or I don't remember. Maybe it wasn't that situation. Anyway, it's a Superwash Sport, 100% merino. And I have like 800 yards of it. So maybe it would be a decent weighted, a drapey shawl someday. But it's sort of random because I don't have anything else from them. I don't know anything about that company either. Made in Canada. Here's the rest of the Green Mountain Spinnery. By the way, this is the music. Right? Music yarn. I think so. Yeah, which is DK. So I have 7. Which is a decent amount. And I have, these are super old. So this is from Port Townsend, which is a little Victorian town on the coast. Is it on the coast? It looks, you look across at Canada. It's on the peninsula of Washington, and is a little bit more orange, darker orange than what's showing up here. This is super bulky, made in Romania. I'm holding it like and talking like this because it's very like soft. It's 100% wool. They want you to use this size 15. And the company, it looks like it's Ella Ray Mega. And I have 2. And so I got this a long time ago. It's probably been a decade or more. And I don't know what to do with it. It's also so hairy. So, but it's beautiful. And it's actually been visible for quite a long number of years. And every once in a while I look at that and go, what do I do with that? And I would make a big Linus with it, but I literally just made a big Linus with a very similar color. So apparently like orange, big orange, bulky, super bulky is, just couldn't resist it a couple times. So yeah, that's what's here. I do have a bag also of miscellaneous yarns that I bought specifically for swatching a few, maybe, I don't know, maybe 10 episodes back. I got the idea that I could buy a single skein of a bunch of different yarns I was interested in, try and swatch with those, and I did do that, and I haven't swatched with any of them. So I have detailed all those yarns already, and I don't want to do it again here. But there's mohair in there, there's Ultra Alpaca, there's Fiber Company, there's some, I think, Exeter, sock yarn, there's Pure Grint in there, or Sans Garn, some Farmer's Daughter. So yeah, it's a good collection of yarns, and I haven't done anything with it. That does make me feel a little bad, but yeah, I have cubbies down here for Ultra Alpaca, for Lichen and Lace, Woolly Mammoth Fiber Co., MadTosh, Custom Wool and Mills, Brooklyn Tweed, Local Color, Farm and Fiber, Farmer's Daughter, and Quince & Co. And then the rest of this side that's up here is also like random things that didn't fit. There is a lot of Farmer's Daughter, kind of like right here. These are Farmer's Daughter. It really depends on what would fit and what wouldn't fit. But yeah, I think I will really just bag everything back up, maybe tight a little bit more organized, see if I can fit some of the things down here below in the other cubbies, but I doubt a lot of it will fit. So it's exciting when I do use a yarn for a project and there's like space, a little bit of space on here. I pulled out a bunch of Brooklyn Tweed for the Ruska by Jessica McDonald. And I haven't started that or swatched for it, but I pulled it out and took it with me. And so there's like space in that cubby. But I don't know, I might put that bag back in because I'm not ready to do that sweater yet. So yeah, I guess I feel a little bit better about it now, having looked through it, like, okay, yes, these are like definitely great yarns, and I don't know what I will do with them, but they're worthy of being in my stash still. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed me rambling through some of these bags, and maybe someday I will do a little bit more of it. There are, do you want to see like one more? As I just looked up there and saw that there's another caked bag, or maybe 2, that could use my eyeballs on it for a bit. This is Explorer Fibers, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it is. I think this is this one. No? No, this is Domestic Worsted from Magpie Fibers. I hope you're impressed by how often I can look at a skein and be like, I know what this is. As I can tell from how it feels. And I made, I think it is, I'm pretty sure and certain. Yeah, it is. I made a shawl with this, and I knit a sweater with this yarn, and it's a very particular, which they're not making it anymore. It was domestic, US domestic wool, but it's very textural. Yeah, anyways. Magpie, random magpie skein. I guess I could go with the other random magpie. I don't really have a magpie section because I haven't purchased a lot from them that I haven't used. I think I have purchased a lot from them, but I've used it. This is Magpie Fibers. No, I lied. MadTosh. This is Copper Penny. What do you will say? Glazed Pecan. So this is a colorway I went nuts for. I was going to use it in something. I don't think I finished it. It looks like maybe there's some in the bottom of this. Yeah, I bet this is also Glazed Pecan. Well, maybe. No, this is Explorer Fibers too. Golden Snitch, maybe? These might be Harry Potter colors. Anyways, MadTosh goes over there. What are you? You don't look familiar to me. What are you? Oh, Homespun House. DK something. Interesting. This is like one of my least favorite colors ever. I like sort of like purpley pink. So not for me. But this is a MadTosh. Probably vintage, which is their worsted, one of their worst releases. This is La Bien Aimée. This is like a worsted, I think this is birthday cake, or it could be Aimée's color, or Aimée's birthday. It's beautiful. I only had one though. Her yarn's a bit pricey. Ooh, more Lichen. So this is these are both Lichen. Oh yeah. So Tanya gave me some Homespun House in Lichen in the cashmere base for a Hollows shawl from Melody Hoffen, which I did make. This is the leftovers. This is perfect because my mom just asked me the other day if I had any Lichen. And I bet you this is Lichen in Soft Sock, which is a different base of hers. And so I gave her a full skein of Lichen that I had, but it'll be better actually if I give her a partial skein of something, probably cashmere. She'll be very happy about that. So good to look through things. This is Volvo. Where's that yarn? Oh, Viola, I think, in, yeah, a beautiful, subtle. It's got like pinks in it and a little bit of gray. It's lovely. So I think I got that at the same time as that sock set. This is Domestic Fingering from Magpie Fibers to go with that gold skein. Nah. And you know, maybe, there's a pair of socks by the Petite Knitter. Not Petite Knits, the Petite Knitter. She has a colorway, pair of colorway socks, I think a couple, where the pictures are like one sock you use like this color for the background and the other sock is the exact same pattern. You just use this color for the background. So they go together, but they sort of mix match. And I think I was considering using these yarns for that project, but there was also another yarn company where I had pretty much these exact colors. So that's what's reminding me of that pattern. And I don't know where those socks are. They're like a whip that I was like, I'm going to pull these out because it was too small and I need to go up a size. And I was knitting them with Jennifer. when we were doing them. They didn't fit her either, so we were going to start over. We just talked about it like a few months back of like, we should pick that cowl back up and do those socks. But these are domestic fingering. But maybe not so good for sock yarn. It's pretty durable, but it's not necessarily sock durable. Nights in Chile, another work sock skein. Why do I have two? I don't know. What was I gonna do? Okay, one more. Some black custom woolen mills. Some mustard piece fleece, which I got a few extra skeins to do because I thought I was going to need more for that cardigan I made. But I was able to do it with 5 skeins. And this was a different lot number and they were really not the same color. So I didn't have to use them. This I got at Knit City from Megan at Lichen and Lace. I have a lot of Lichen and Lace and I should use it. It's great yarn. Her colors are lovely. It's like a little yarn bouquet. I will marry you. Okay. What is this little cute thing? Oh, so I made a lot of what was called bracken. I think it was, what's her name? I forget the designer's name. But it's a kid's sweater that I used Corey from Brooklyn Tweed, which is their bulky worsted spun yarn. And I made a little child sweater for my friend's kids. And she had 3 at the time. Now she's about to have her 6th, I think. Maybe her 7th. She's really working. I made each one of them a bracken. And I made a oatmeal colored one. I made a navy colored one. I made a green one. And the older boy who got the oatmeal colored one, he was like, I would have liked red. And I was like, oh, I'll let you a red one when you're a little older and you need a bigger one. And she's a friend who knits. And this is also Corey here. Leftovers. It's a sweater you can do, like the little size you can do in 1 skein of Corey. And I think the bigger size you can do in 2 to 3 skeins. But I was going to make more sweaters for her kids because she's a knitter and I know that they would wear I saw them wearing them all the time, these sweaters. So they were totally knit-worthy, a knit-worthy family. And they were outside playing all the time and they didn't mind that it was a bulky sweater. I don't know if you've noticed that parents tend to not like bulky sweaters for their kids unless they live in a really cold area. Most parents want like a fingering weight sweater for their child because they just don't need the bulk if they're going to be in the house a lot. Anyways, she moved away. I haven't seen her in a long time. I haven't met several of her kids, so I haven't kept up on my like, I'm gonna sweater clothe all of your children. Super fun to make these though. That should go in the Brooklyn Tweed section for sure. Those little scrappy bits. This is also, I don't remember this is Corey too. I don't know the name of it. All of the Corey colorways are named after gemstones, I think, or semi-precious or types of rocks. This is a Yoth yarn in the house in Father, which is their worsted base. I had a lot of like 1 skein of these and I made a Mountain Mist, which is a really delightful sweater for all ages and genders. Where you see like there's levels of mountains and you can do the levels in different colors. Like when you look across at a mountain range, the different levels of mountains, because usually there's like mountain and then a mountain and a mountain and a mountain, they're all different colors. They all have trees on them, but the way the light is and the shadows and stuff, they all have different layers, and that sweater really shows that off, so it's super cool. And I used the Father yarn in various shades of green to do that, and I gave it to someone. Whose baby got that sweater? Oh, Jenny. Little Liam. He's probably much too big for it now. But it took like a day, so I highly recommend the Mountain Mist by Tin Can Knits. What's this? it. Has a label in it, but it's really far in there. Oh, Hazel Knits, which is a Seattle company. I don't know what they're up to either. And this is also something else. These are random ones. I don't remember this at all. It's is that an A? Arene? Or Dream? Maybe it's a D. Dream? Yeah, dreamcoloryarn.com. Dream in Color, like DEARMIN. Dream in Color. I think I must have got this. It's possible I used it for my What the Fade, Andrea Maury's Faded. No, that's not what this is for, because this is DK. I don't know. I believe this is, yeah, the Sweet Fiber with all those other white Sweet Fibers. Oh, we're getting on an hour here. I gotta stop. Ooh, Highland from Highland from Harrisville. I used this for my very first Yukon hat, which I love, and I wear it all the time. Red is a good hat color for me. This is Brooklyn Tweed Shelter in Long Johns, I think. Or it could be Green Mountain Spinnery in Music. It's in there, but it's all wrapped up. What to do with this skein? Where should it live? And this is leftovers of domestic worsted from Magpie Fibers that I used for a shawl from she's Canadian, lives in British Columbia, lives in Vancouver. Designs really beautiful shawls. I have her books. Sylvia McFadden. It's one of Sylvia McFadden's shawls. You could go way back in my Instagram and find out which one this is. It's not waiting for rain. It's like laced. It's really cool. I need to pull it out and wear it. I love yellow yarn. I love knitting with it. Okay, now I've made it a proper mess. And I really appreciate you if you're still here watching. And I'll be back maybe later this week, maybe next week with a update on my whips and the upcoming Fjord shawl release, which is November 15th. I hope to get this out before that happens. If I have to rearrange the episodes, then it's already out, but it's because it's going to take me a while to get an hour video up on YouTube. I have to go to the library and hope that the file doesn't get corrupted, because sometimes it happens. But yeah, so look for the release of the Fjord. I also will have the bulky Linus out for my newsletter subscribers, which is just a great stash busting yarn. I use super bulky in the pattern, but you can use any weight of yarn, and there are instructions in the pattern that basically help you choose. Not help you choose what yarns, but encourage you to use whatever you've got, and you cast off all your stitches at once. So when you're out of yarn or almost out of yarn, as long as you can bind off, you can finish. And I always say too, like, you just make it as big as you want, and you can wrap it around your neck once, then you're good. You can even make a little kerchief version, although that shape really doesn't have, the second tail isn't really small, so it doesn't tie. I don't know, you could probably make it work. But yeah, a lot of these yarns would make really excellent Linus shawls. So maybe my mom will be getting some yarn presents later today. I'll just foist me up some yarn off on her. Yeah, okay. I was gonna say the bulky Linus is coming out soon after the Fjord. It will be available through email to my newsletter subscribers only. And then mid to late December, hopefully mid-December, I will release my Knitters Academia sock pattern. with those really beautiful stripes. So that's what's coming up design wise. I did make big significant progress on my first light sweater. I got the yoke done. I finished the neckline, and I'm going to take the neckline out because I didn't like it. So I'm going to change it, which is one reason why you do a bottom up sweater, because if you knit from the top down, you can't really do the collar over unless you do some major surgery on your sweater, because it happened first. So you can alter your neckline a lot more if it's the last thing you do. So it's been pretty great to be like, oh, I don't like it. Well, cool. Like, I'll just change it. And I just haven't gotten around to it because this happened and many other things happened. Okay, I hope you're knitting something fun, and I will see you will see me later.